Peace. And the Lord said, on the day after Monday,
It must be Tuesday.
and there you have it. Down in sports in the building. Myself left-handed and Yada Bears in the house as usual. First things first, the big homie is back in the building. Salute to the homie Star out the hospital and all that. So he's feeling better. So a marathon might be coming your way soon. You know what I mean? Something might pop up on there. So stay tuned for that. Rest in peace, D'Angelo, man.
Yeah.
Yo, yeah. I mean, we're gonna probably get into that later on, but um, iconic dude, man. Definitely. I mean, I can't. I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about it because I know you gotta. You rock with D'Angelo and the Jill Scott thing and Soul Aquarians and all of
hmm
that. Um, what are your reflections and thoughts and remembrances of D'Angelo?
it's so funny because
Mm,
like me and my wife were just talking about him earlier. Listening to
right.
some of the music, and it was like, damn, 51, so young. I was just telling her that I always like when you think of the song "Cruising," I always think of his version. I always play his version versus Marvin Gaye version. And
Which is
I always say,
understandable.
and now like sometimes when people remake songs, the original is always like the best. But
You always go
like
back
me
to it.
personally, I'm like, Dad, when I hear somebody like, oh man, that song Cruising, and instantly D'Angelo version of Cruising pops in my head. So I always say like that's like one of my favorite songs by him. And it's just crazy that he's passed on so young.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we can talk all day about, D'Angelo, but I feel like, that whole crew, you know what I mean?
hmm
Peace to Questlove, you know what I mean? Peace to Q-Tip, peace to Erica Badu, peace to Yasin Bey, you know what I mean? Y'all know him as Mos Def, you know what I mean? Talib, peace to that whole unit, man. Black Thought,
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? The whole unit, man. I mean, D'Angelo, absolutely that dude. And listen, I'm a hip hop head to the fullest. Absolutely. I'm going to the Zulu anniversary. Absolutely. I still rhyme and all that. Our partners in the building. Watch out. Listen, D'Angelo, to me, in my opinion, if I could talk about it a little bit, he represented the other side of the hip hop thing. And I use an example, one of my joints that of his. I mean, besides the cruising was dope, you know what I mean? Um, Devil's Pie.
Oh yeah,
That's my
yeah.
joint right there. Like when you talk about like some people will say, "Oh well, I don't mess with the hip hop stuff." But that's a hip hop record.
hmm
Primo did it,
Yeah.
right? Shout out to Primo. Um, like D'Angelo just hit like that album, not the joint with Brown Sugar on it, the other joint. That like
The Untitled.
um you got Devil's Pie on there. You got
hmm
oh god, One More Again on there. He had some joints on that album. Now it
Yeah.
escapes me, but again, like you said, to lose someone that that major of a talent, man. He really, I think the best was yet to come. You know what I mean? Because he was turning into one of those, already like an OG. So now you look at who we lost from, that type of unit and that type of scenario. You forget about Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy, man. But we just wanted to put some respect on D'Angelo's name, man. Absolutely, man. But now we get in the building. We're gonna do what we do on Tuesday nights. We got a 2 hour joint because Browski says she got some things that she got to do. AKA high ceilings is in the building, so you know how that go. Um, we're gonna talk some basketball later on, NBA preview. You know what I mean, Browski? Listen, I mean, if I was you, and I'm not you, but if I was you, like the Sixers might be a dark horse. And I'm not trying to be facetious or funny or none of that. Because the way I see the sports thing going now, the teams that get slept on are the teams that do work. Because nobody's worrying about them or thinking about them. Everybody and their mother literally is talking about the Knicks. Oh, the Knicks are gonna do this, the Knicks are gonna do that, the Knicks are gonna do that. I've been a Knicks fan too long. You can put like 50 O's behind that to fall for the banana in the tailpipe, the spoiled milk, the rotten Easter egg, the flat tire, all that. But we're gonna get into it and make it do what it do. But first of all, let's talk about your Eagles in the Giants there on Thursday night there.
I mean, it's nothing else to say. I said what I need to say here on Saturday.
Well,
Um,
you can say it again.
but what's crazy, you know, I already said it. It's already out there. That's old news.
That's old news.
That's old news because everybody was so focused on us losing, they didn't look
Salute,
at
Norman.
what
Go ahead, go ahead.
they had going on. You know, some of all you Cowboy fans, oh, you guys lost to the Giants. Oh, it's over. Blah blah blah. And then turn around, and what did y'all do? Y'all lose to the Panthers. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Let me not forget about you Commander fans.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Get out
you
of
got them
Browski.
right where
Get
we
him.
want them.
Get
You
him.
got them right where we want them.
Get him, Browski. Get him.
Last season was a fluke. Oh, the Jalen Daniels is back. We about to run through him. And what happened?
Uh-oh.
You lost. Okay? You lost. And at the end of the day, at the end of week 6, when we look at the standing, y'all still our sons. We still look
Talk your
down
ish,
on y'all.
Browski. Talk your
Okay?
ish.
We still look down on all of y'all. And your Commanders fans want to say, oh, we didn't have Terry and Debo. But why would you need them? I thought that,
Go
you
ahead,
didn't need
Browski.
those guys. Look, look who y'all was playing. Y'all telling me that y'all needed those guys. It's crazy work. Monday Night Football
In front of everybody.
in front of everybody. Everybody in their mom watching the game,
Everybody in their
prime
mom.
time. And I just turned around and I looked and I said, wait a minute, these not your same old Chicago Bears that we're talking about here. Caleb Williams looked amazing against you guys. Um, DeAndre Swift looked great too. They had all the time in the pocket. It was an interesting game, and the Bears said we're not going to have the same problem you guys had last year. It will not be no Hail Mary win over us.
And they had a
It's
chance to win the
crazy.
game. They fumbled it away.
Fumble it away. And it's crazy that you had to win by magic last season, and this season your magic ran out,
Mm.
and like you said, you fumble away the opportunity to win the game. So again, before y'all laugh at our stumble, we continue to laugh at your fall because you're constantly
Uh-oh.
falling. Okay, so I just want them to you know sit back and just think like maybe we should keep our mouth shut. Maybe we should just focus on what we need to focus and just keep our mouth shut. But this week has been a very interesting football week, to say the least. And keep on talking about Monday night football. The Bills and the Falcons. The Falcons came out the gate red hot. Bijan Robinson running all over the guys. He had about what 200, like almost 200 yards on the Bills, and again the Bills also had a chance to win, and Josh Allen, threw that pick, sealed the game. So you guys like to call, want to say, oh, the Eagles are trash because we're 4-2. Well, y'all pseudo Super Bowl champion that you guys picked from the beginning of the season, Buffalo Bills are also 4-2. So are they trash? I mean, I need to know. Or let's talk about the other teams that you guys picked to be Super Bowl champions. Um, let's talk about these LA Chargers. You know, everybody talking about Chargers. Chargers up and coming. Chargers this. Chargers that. You know, I
Yo,
look and I'm
Darby,
like,
you see
oh,
this, right? Go ahead, Bosky.
I'm like,
You see this, right?
wow, what's happening? And then also I need to point out also the other Super Bowl champions that they put out there pre season, and the Detroit Lions.
Hmm.
The Detroit Lions out there getting trashed by the Chiefs. It
And
wasn't
they want to
even
get mad at. They
super
don't want to get mad at
competitive.
fight. Hmm.
I didn't want to fight. And then at the end of the game, you got Branch, and Juju. But I gotta back up a little bit and not put all the fault on Branch,
Right.
because you gotta look at the situation. Patrick Mahomes taunting him.
Yeah.
We,
Yep. Yep.
we,
Let's
we,
go,
we, we
Browski.
we see
Yep.
it all season. Beginning of the
Let's go.
season, the
Yep.
league has put on a big bullseye on Taunton. That's like, I guess that's like their talking point of this season. We're
Hmm.
gonna focus on Taunton. There's gonna be no Taunton in the NFL. None of that. Well, the NFL Golden Boy on Monday Night Football on ESPN is taunting this
Doing the whole
guy.
game. Hmm.
The whole and zero flag. And then at the end of the game, you expect him to extend his hand out and shake your hand after the whole game. You've been taunting me and
And
just
getting away
talking
with it.
wild at me, and
Hmm.
you got no repercussions,
Right.
for it at all. Nothing at all. So yeah, I'm mad. I'm hot because if the shoe was on the other foot, it'd be a 15-yard
Yep.
penalty
Yep.
on Branch
I get thrown
for
out the
taunting.
game. Yep. That's right.
I'm out of here.
Yep.
I'm out of here. So now you got your other little homie in Juju, who we have seen in the past dancing on team's logo when he was with Pittsburgh, being extremely disrespectful. Come up to this guy, made it, probably said something else, so he probably said, you know what? If I punch Patrick, I'm suspended X amount of
They're gonna
games.
throw me out the league.
But if I punch you, I might get a
Right.
fine.
Hmm.
Maybe a 1 game suspension, maybe, but I'm definitely probably get a
Hmm.
fine. So guess what? I'm gonna take my frustrations out on the lesser man, and I'm gonna punch you in the face. Even though I don't condone it, it was crazy. I was like, this is wild. Like, all right, like you didn't have to do all that, but I understand, from his perspective of the situation. But like I said, that was wild. That was crazy. I mean, week 6. What can we say? I'm gonna let Left go ahead and gloat because
Yeah.
he's the only one
Yeah.
up here who won in week 6. So go ahead,
Check
Left.
this out. I mean, I thought Browski was gonna put some respect on my Buccaneers name when
Well,
she
I
was
was gonna
mentioning
let
the
you do it. Listen,
Bears and
I'm gonna let you do it.
Commanders and the Chargers and the this. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers 5-1. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers finally won a game where we put some space, score wise, kind of like the game wise. It was 30-19 over the San Francisco 49ers.
Hmm.
A game we had to tough out. Once again, Baker Mayfield. Everybody's talking this MVP stuff, and it's what does that say, Basket on the screen, man? Week 6, right?
Hmm.
I don't really subscribe to putting anybody's name or thinking about the MVP right now. Let them play, at least get to the holidays first, please. Thank you very much.
At least half the season, right?
Right? You know what I mean? So again, but I'm gonna get into that later. All these prognosticators and all this and that and the third. Can we just enjoy the games as they happen? Let's not jump ahead to December and this and that. And week 6 playoff position. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are the #1 team in the NFC. So what does that mean? Yada. And again, I'm glad that my team is kind of fulfilling and exceeding my expectations. Right now, 5-1 after 6 games. What I say, Kimmy? Like 4-2. What I say? Like 4-2, something like
Yeah,
that.
4-2. Yeah, 4-2.
So again, for me, I'm grateful. Without Mike Evans, now without Bucky Irvin, Chris
Chris
Godwin is
Godwin.
he show up when he wants to. You know what I mean? Um, and we're getting what we're getting. Nobody's talking about Todd Bowles, which is, I'm not talking about that in a bad way, but if, the same thing kind of things are happening, I'm watching the game. I'm watching the 49ers and the Buccaneers. I'm watching. I'm watching my defense. I'm watching Ibuki, the rookie, drop passes. I'm watching this, right?
Yeah.
I'm also watching my defense get at Brock Purdy. I mean, Mac Jones. My bad, Mac Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I'm satisfied that it was a win. That it wasn't down to down to the last seconds, and we had to drive and get this to win the game. We performed on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Came up big defensively. And again, I mean, 5-1 is 5-1. I take it as it comes, Kimmy. I'm not making those Super Bowl plans. You know what I mean? Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Because an injury here or there, 5-1 could turn into what? 5-12.
It definitely could.
You know what I'm saying? So again, at the end of the day, you take what happens as it comes. We got a game coming up on Monday night against the Detroit Lions. You know what I mean? So again, that's going to be another test. So again, when we talk about teams that are exceeding expectations right now, Tampa Bay, definitely the Indianapolis Colts,
Oh,
absolutely. I mean, we
they're
don't
the
want to talk
top of
about
the
an
list.
MVP. I mean, is the Daniel Jones Baker Mayfield MVP thing? Is that a thing? Like it can't be.
Apparently it is in 2025, and you could also look at it as a story of redemption. For both guys.
For both of them, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
who would have thought that a Daniel Jones led Colts would be 5-1? I knew that the Colts would have been better than they have been under Daniel Jones versus under Anthony Richardson, which is a wild story that he got hurt during pregame warm-ups,
Oh
broke
man,
his
with
orbital.
the resistance band
Yeah, like now he
popped in the
so
eye. No, nobody like him.
yeah, so now that can just be another excuse, you know, for someone else to give him a chance next year because I cannot see him being on the team for another year, and I think the Colts will be ridiculous if they don't sign Daniel Jones to a long term contract. So now we see that maybe he was worth that 4 years, was it 140 that the Giants was giving him, but it just was the wrong team. You know, um, the Giants, could have been at fault. He went to the coach, and it's like a whole new Daniel Jones with some pieces around him, and we can definitely see how he's moving. So if people want to say, hey, Daniel Jones for MVP, when I look around the league, I can only name him, Baker, and that's it right now for
Right. No
MVP.
Josh Allen, no
No,
Lamar,
no,
no
no
none of
Josh,
the,
no
no Joe
Lamar, no
Burrow, none
Patrick,
of the.
no
I mean,
Joe. Yeah,
would you throw
none
Dak
of the
Prescott in there?
usual. Yeah, none of the usual suspects are no
Hmm.
longer on that list of potential MVP candidates for this season. Now we're looking at Baker Mayfield, Daniel Jones, and you can
What
just
about Dak
write in.
Prescott?
It's the record.
Hmm.
You can't be an MVP 3-1, like, or 2-1.
Whatever it
Whatever,
is, it's not.
whatever.
It's below
But
500.
whatever,
Hmm.
it's a losing record. I believe,
Hmm.
to me personally, you can't be the MVP with a losing record because you. It's just
You're the
not.
best. You're just the best player on the bad team.
You're the best of the worst. So I can't see that. So
Damn, Browski.
I mean, it is what it is.
He's
He
the
can have
best of
the
the worst,
numbers,
son.
but it's
Right.
like, geez, your team not even going to make the playoffs. Like, so I can't say, yeah, we're going to put Dak Prescott in the MVP conversation. But
Um.
we'll see. Like we said, it's only week 6. It's only week
Yeah,
6.
it's only week 6. So again, we're just talking to kind of like talk about a week 6 situation, what we like and what we see, and teams that are, we can talk about teams that are trending downward, like the Buffalo Bills, like the Baltimore Ravens. But at this point in the season, the Ravens, their defense is crazy. They got a lot of things going on with injuries and things of that nature. To me, I would put that against look at my Buccaneers. I'm not gonna pop my collar or nothing, but we dealt with injuries too to our main guys. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think the whole league has dealt with injury.
Well,
We're
that's not
dealing with
well
injuries.
that's not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers problem.
It's
But
not anybody's problem.
listen,
It's the
listen,
Baltimore Ravens
Bowski.
problem.
Yeah, Baltimore Ravens problem. Um, where are you at, Kim, with the Green Bay Packers? Remember when they got Micah and it was supposed to be all about them and they was going to clean up and the NFC went through Lambeau. Where are we at with them? They're 3-1-1.
Well, to me, they're the same old Green Bay Packer. Um, we thought with Micah it would have been a great improvement, but it seemed like it is not. It seemed like he's having the same type of season that he would have if he was still with Dallas. Um, I feel like the thing with Micah, everybody has the tape on him. Just run away from him, run the play on the other side, and you just take him out the whole play, and he's a non-factor. The Packers defense wasn't really wasn't that much of an improvement. Like I said, they still look like the same Packers. So can we say maybe they got a little worse with them?
Mm.
Because the fact that you went and you played the Cowboys and you tied with them, well, you
Yeah,
should have
even 40
clearly won that
points.
game. You should have clearly won that game. And having Michael on the team, it didn't really impact the game all like to a victory. You know, most know how they go. Some teams you can point at certain players that very impactful. Like this guy on the field
Mm.
changes the whole outcome of the game with him or without him. Or with Micah, it was even till So I think the
Right.
Packers are the same Packers. I think the NFC North is going to be a closer race than we anticipated. We thought it was going to be close between like the Packers and the Lions, but I think it's going to be close with all four teams because again, it's not the same Bears. The Bears had some fight in them. Um, Caleb Williams is starting to click. Look like um, even with the injury with J.J. McCarthy out in Minnesota, you know, when you have a veteran backup in Carson Wentz that shows you flashes of him in the past, shows that he can still play, maintain the team, you know, instead of you going 0-4 in these four games, I mean, you're still in the
In the mix.
conversation,
That's right. That's right.
in the mix, in the NFC North. And then you look at the Lions, you know, changes all through offensive and defensive coordinators. Players are getting back. Some players getting hurt again. It's not your same offense, not your same defense. Um, and you're just not as dominant as you was in prior years. So now it's like a mixed bag over there. So you just shake it up and like whoever falls out, it could
That's what it
it's
is.
anybody's division.
That's right.
And can we believe that Chicago Bears actually have a chance to win the division, which is crazy.
This is great.
Usually by now, we like the Bears are out of it. They're in the
Right.
mix.
Um, Speaking of being in the mix, the AFC is taking it back to the 80s and the 90s and the 70s. The Patriots in first place, the Steelers in first place, the
Yes.
Colts in first place, and the Chargers are in first place. Like, it's only week 6,
Mm-hmm.
but nobody saw Baltimore being 1-5.
No.
Nobody saw Joe Burrow being out. You know what I mean? Nobody saw Daniel Jones being like the best quarterback in the AFC right now. Nobody, my man from San Diego, Justin Herbert, notwithstanding, I said San Diego. Fine, me, Bowski. I got to pay my fine. I said San Diego. My man from the Chargers, Justin Herbert, notwithstanding. But again, it's week 6, I look at this like I use an analogy for baseball. The best team in March and April in baseball is the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you know how they finish. So
Exactly.
again, it's the trade deadline is coming up November the 4th.
Yes.
Um, what do you see, or do you see anything big happening? And talk about Darius Smith a little bit, retiring after 11 years with the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, let me go to the AFC first. I
Hmm.
think it is a blast from the past when we look at what teams are standing on top of the division so far in 6 weeks. Did we think that Lamar would be down? No, we didn't think that at all. Did we think majority of Baltimore defense will also be on the injury list? Not at all. Um, but the one thing, did we did not think that Aaron Rodgers would have went to the Fountain of Youth and
Right.
found his game from Green Bay.
Mm.
It's like he went through a time machine and he just colored in the Green Bay jersey with Pittsburgh
Listen,
Steelers jersey.
Browski, he pulled the James Harden.
He
He,
definitely did. He took the
he,
fat suit
he pulled
off.
the James Harden.
Took the fat suit off, and next thing you know, he out here hitting
You know
buckets
what I
again.
mean? No.
So, who would have thought that would have been the outcome within the first 6 weeks over in Pittsburgh? And none of you Steelers fans better not say, "Oh, we knew it." No, you
Right,
didn't.
right,
No, you
right,
didn't. You
right,
guys was was,
right.
was was a little shaky. Y'all was a little concerned. Y'all was raising the eyebrows too. What was going on there? Nobody knew that this would happen. But again, it's only 6 weeks in. Still
You
got
better hope
the
Aaron Rodgers
majority of the
don't get
season.
tired.
You better hope you don't get tired, and you better hope you don't get popped.
Right,
'Cause
right,
one
right.
good hit, the shoulder. He always got some issue with his collarbone or his shoulder. So let's not wish that on him. But the again, it's only 6 weeks, and we want to see how these teams, if they can sustain these leads. Um, with the Chargers, in the AFC West,
Hmm.
you can't be too comfortable when you're up top because you always have this. You always got the Chiefs right there breathing down your neck, and one slip up, next minute you 3 games behind the
Back.
Chiefs.
Let's
You
go,
know,
Browski. Yeah.
the Chiefs at the top of the AFC West, and can't sleep on Denver. They are
Somebody,
also,
somebody on this panel picked Denver to go to the Super Bowl.
yeah. Hey, you know what's so crazy? That definitely did happen. But as we said, the those lists are up for negotiable. They could change. They could change
Thank you
it.
for throwing that in there, Kim.
Okay, they could change at any time.
Woo!
It wasn't pencil. Look. They was
Right,
pencil in.
right,
Now
right,
you
right.
erase on that, John. Okay, my
No doubt.
erase the word, but it's just nuts. But you spoke about Zadarius Smith, crazy out of nowhere.
Right.
I don't know. This guy is our sack leader right now. He had 1.5 sacks so far this season, and then
Mm-hmm.
out the blue, he said, "You know what? I think I'm going to retire." So I'm looking at it like, well, my man, did you already have retirement in the back of your mind? Because if it's in the back of your mind, then it's in the forefront of your mind, then you want to retire. So why come to a team that have, quote unquote Super Bowl potential, quote playoff
Mm-hmm,
potential,
mm-hmm, hmm.
and you could be a viable part of the team, and then after the 6 games at week 6, matter of fact, you only played what in two, maybe three, 2.5 games, maybe I want to say, and you calling it quits. So it's like, did your body give up on you? Did you wake up and was like, yo, I don't feel like going to practice. My body hurt. I'm tired of doing this. It's just crazy, but salute to him being able to go out on his own free will. A lot of players in the league don't have that privilege to say, "Hey, I'm gonna hang it up." If they had to hang it up, it's Jimmy because of some type of injury. So salute to him. He played what 12 seasons?
Yeah, 11 or 12.
Yeah, salute to
Maybe,
the.
maybe Cash Doll needed a bodyguard.
Listen, maybe Cash Doll said, I'm not trying to be in Philly for the winter. Maybe Cash.
I can't wait to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I only make those type of appearances. I can't be
Oh
here all
man!
year.
And listen, we're in the building down at In Sports as we do on Tuesday nights. You got Yada Bear right over there, right? You got my man, that's me, keeping on the eye, Big Des in the building, aka left-handed in the house. Um, we're gonna talk some NFL. We on 2 hours a night. We rocking hard body karate. We on 2 hours. We got the NBA preview coming. Browski gonna talk a ish. You know I'm gonna talk my ish. Um, we gotta put some respect on the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that we would be doing a disservice if we did not at least throw them a little bit of respect. Um, 4-2 right now. Um, Travis Hunter, doing this thing. Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you had to come out of your bag one day. You had to kind of like, make people think like this is the guy that we was watching in Clemson. One day, it had to happen.
Ain't happened last week. Ain't happened Sunday.
And well, I mean, it happened against the Kansas City Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, I don't want to look at Trevor Lawrence as one of those dudes who's like on his way to Busville. So he has shown that he can do it. It wasn't that way last week. It's not going to be like that every week. But still in all, Jacksonville Jaguars, even after a bad game, they're still 4-2. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm not, putting them in as the sixth seed or having a road game in the playoffs or nothing like that. But again, it's week 6. We could say the same thing about the Seattle Seahawks. You know what I mean? They're 4-2.
Yep.
They haven't been getting really the greatest quarterback play in the world, but they're 4-2. You know what I mean? Right up there with the Niners and the Rams,
Yeah.
who everybody's all over. So I mean, it's still a long way to go. Super, super long. This season is so long. They keep throwing 2 Monday night games on. Like
Yo,
it's like
that's bananas to me. 2 Monday night games is wild. Um, I just don't understand the scheduling of that. It's like, well, put in enough, make one of those games a 4:25 game. Because when you think about it, we
and
had what?
lose that prime time commercial money. Nah.
But it's wild because you splitting the viewers up. Because now you watching on ESPN and you watching on ABC. Like you flipping back and forth. Or if you're gonna do a Monday night football game, then make the game at like 5 or 6 o'clock. Make the
That
first game
that
early.
would be a more feasible idea, but then on the other side of that, it's like, well, people getting home from work. Well, no. When you start the game at 9 o'clock, when you used to start the game at 9 o'clock on Monday Night Football, people on the West Coast was just getting still stuck in traffic.
Still stuck. So I'm
You know what I'm
saying,
saying?
but that's
So
one day. That's one day.
yeah,
So you're
yeah,
telling
yeah. You're
me
right. You're right,
that if
Bowski. That's one day.
you put the schedule
It is
out
one
there
day. Hmm.
early in advance, so you can say, oh, all right, well, the Eagles playing on Monday night. It's 2 Monday night games. Oh, they got the early Monday night game, so the game's gonna be at 5:30. All right, you got more time in advance to take off. It works for baseball. Nobody said anything about baseball. It'd be sold out. Games at 1:35 on a Wednesday. You telling me you're not at work? Okay. Games start at 6. Games start at 6:25 on a Monday. You just got out of work.
It must be hot dog night.
Hey, okay, so you telling me you can make a 1:35 game on a Wednesday. You can make a 5:30 Monday night game for football one day. Just one game. That's it. I just don't like the double splitting it. You got games start at 7:30, and the next game start at 8. It's like, well,
I just thought it was like a novelty thing. Like once every blue moon, we would get 2 Monday night games. But they just
this
doing
is
this
like
thing
what?
like
This is what the second time it happened so far in 6 weeks.
third.
See, 3 times in 6 weeks.
Three
That's
times
crazy.
already. Yep, 3 times. This will be the
That's
third time.
crazy.
We're gonna have two
So
Monday night games this week. Buccaneers and the Lions and the Seahawks playing somebody. Yeah.
that's
Yep. It's gonna
yo.
be two Monday night games this week coming up. Yep.
What are we
So I
doing?
mean, I and again, you mentioned that ABC and ESPN split the audience, but Disney gets all the money. So
Didn't get all the
I
money.
mean, listen,
Oh, oh, and this game is on late. So we got the Seahawks and the Texans playing at 10 o'clock.
a Monday night game at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, and then the Bucks and Lions at 7. What are we doing? We're gonna have football at 12 o'clock at midnight on a Monday.
I don't think so. Yeah.
That's what, like, again. So instead of starting this Bucks Lions game at 5 o'clock, so that you could start the Texans Seahawks game at 8 o'clock, you gotta push that game to 10 o'clock. Why? Because it's in Seattle. So what?
And that's still eight
It's like,
o'clock on the West Coast.
this not basketball. It's not
Yeah, it's
baseball.
getting ready to be basketball. Believe that. We're gonna get into that too. It's getting ready to be basketball. That's a nice segue. I like what you did there, Bosco. Yeah, I mean, but again, they're not thinking about the fans, right?
No,
They
they,
like you
they
said, they
definitely.
know that you'll be home. You can stream the game. You can watch the game. You can watch the highlights after the game, things of that nature. They just throw the game on whenever they feel like it. That's for me. But to me, it used to be the court in the moment. Yo, 9 o'clock. Monday night football games coming on. That Tuesday morning, you're gonna be slow at work or whatever, but you stayed up and
Yep,
watched the game on Monday night. So
yep, yep, yep.
now it's like they're just making it later and later and later. We already sacrificed it already. I remember them days of going to school, trying to stay up and
Right.
watch the Monday night football game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Tired trying to watch this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So
Um,
and those games started at 9 o'clock.
yeah.
When I
So
was
you
going to school,
definitely
Monday
not
night
going
football
to.
started at 9. Yeah, yo.
So you
And
definitely not
again,
going to bed.
yeah. So it's just crazy. But we in the building. We talking about it. I think we done talked about week 6. All we're
Oh,
going to
wait a
talk
minute.
about.
What up?
Go ahead,
Before we
Browski.
moved
Let's
on,
go. Browski said, "Wait a minute."
from this, we got our first firing of the season.
Yeah,
Brian Callahan and Tennessee.
yeah. I
Um,
mean,
what do you expect?
mm,
You screwed up by, to me, drafting Cam Ward. You wasn't just a quarterback away. He wasn't a generational quarterback that can change your franchise.
right.
That wasn't what this guy is. He's not that. He's a project. He's Anthony Richardson slightly better to me. He's slightly better than Anthony Richardson. Um, this guy he went on and said, "Oh well, let me play my way." Bro, this is not college, not in Miami anymore. This is the NFL. That what you did in Miami is not going to work here. So he's the first one, to get let go. I'm surprised that the GM didn't get fired with him because you're the one also making the decision to bringing these guys in. Um, I'm pretty sure, the trade deadline coming up, I'm pretty sure teams going to be calling about Calvin Ridley. If I'm Calvin, I'm trying to get out of there. It's a bad situation. Also, same with the running back.
Pollard?
His name just went away from me. The guy that was with the Cowboys.
Oh God. And he just went off. Not Dowdle.
Nah,
Not
nah,
Dowdle's on Carolina.
yeah,
Pollard.
yeah. Tony Pollard. If I was
Right,
Tony
right, right,
Pollard
right.
too, I would be asking to get out of there too because again, this is a terrible situation. This team again will be fighting for the #1 draft pick, and possibly looking to draft another quarterback. You
Mm.
know, are the Titans turning into the Cleveland Browns? Maybe. They may be going head to head because past couple of years, I can't remember the Titans being good since since Eddie George and them. That's the last time I can remember like Titans like really being a good team.
When Jeff Fisher was the
Jeff
coach.
Fisher, coach. Yeah, Jeff Fisher. Last time that, and Jeff Fisher then went through several teams, and Titans still
Hmm.
been bad. But you know, we'll see who's next.
Yeah, I mean, you probably had a couple more candidates, but fortunately their seasons is kind of extended a little bit. Like the New York Giants with Brian Daboll. You know what I
Kevin
mean?
Stefanski,
And Kevin
Kevin
Stefanski,
Stefanski.
a couple of guys. And I think the seats are warming up there for Mike McDaniel. It's been warm for Mike McDaniel.
Mike McDaniel's on is hot like fire.
It was hot like fire.
Hot like
What was that?
fire.
It was hot like fire. But we in the building, man, doing what we do. This is gonna be a sore topic for both of us, but we're gonna have to talk about it for at least a few minutes, give it some shine.
Alright.
Oh man. Let me start this off. The Toronto Blue Jays. Y'all play every game against the Yankees like it's the seventh game of the World Series. Every game. You could play a 3-game set at Memorial Day. You play it like it's game 7 of the World Series. Cool. You beat up on us. You scored 30 plus runs in 3 games. Where was all that offense against the Seattle Mariners? In game 1 or 2?
Man,
Right? So here's the thing. You already know, right? You have your little party and Yankees lose and all of this nonsense and that and the third. I'm watching y'all fan base. I'm watching Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I'm watching Ernie Clement. Right? Your faces look like you're in shock. Why? Isn't this what you wanted? Right? You scored all those runs against us. Beat us to death.
I'm back.
Beat us like what my man say? Beat us like a old Virginia slave.
For
It's the
real, for
truth.
real.
They beat us like old Virginia slaves. You know what I mean? Nobody showed up. Y'all was going all crazy and jumping up and down and all this, right? And now the stakes get a little higher. You play a team in the Seattle Mariners that never been to the World Series, never, ever been to the World Series, right?
Yeah,
And they're the number 1 team coming into this.
yes they are.
And they're playing like it. Why is Toronto? Could somebody answer that for me? Could Drake? Somebody, one of them Canadian dudes. Can somebody answer that question for me? Why are the Toronto Blue Jays playing scared all of a sudden? And now they got to go to Seattle. Down 0-2. Do not get swept. That's coming from a Yankee fan. Do not get swept. And for Aaron Boone and Brian Cashman and Steinbrenners, right? You see this? Right? We know that wouldn't have been us. But that's how the Yankees move and operate. You mean to tell me that it's a team like the Toronto Blue Jays really not all of that great, man? You had a dude in Vladimir Guerrero that wasn't sure if they was going to be there. They had to give him $500 million to stay. The pitching came through, did a little thing. Our pitcher was hurt. Garrett Cole out for the year. Clark Schmidt out for the year. We don't use that as an excuse. Max Fried still won 19 games.
He did.
Aaron Judge. Yo.
Yeah.
Yo. But I'm gonna keep it on the LCS. Salute to the Mariners. Salute to the Blue Jays. Teams that came into the league. I watched you come into the league. 1977. I watched the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays come into the league. So y'all got your thing. All right. So again, at the end of the day, the Mariners is busting y'all ass. Even Julio Rodriguez. And what did I? I'm not gonna put Brasky in this mix. What did I say about Julio Rodriguez? Like, when is he gonna show up?
Where's he gonna show up?
And he,
Well,
yeah, he's doing his
well,
thing.
he finally showed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know, and as far as the NLCS is concerned, Browski, I've been saying this for a minute now, and I've been watching baseball since 1973. Y'all do the math. Literally, since 1973. Y'all do the math, right? We always say, or we say that you've seen something that you've never seen before, right? And I'll tell you, because I haven't seen a lot. But that 8-6-2 double play in the Dodgers Brewers game, what the
Yeah,
hell was? I was trying to figure it out because the bases was loaded, and I was trying to figure out, well, where's the force? I
we,
didn't see the ball hit off the wall.
yeah,
That's what happened. That's why they
yeah,
got the force. Oh,
yeah.
okay. I said,
Yeah,
oh,
'cause
now it makes
if he
sense.
would have if he would have caught it cleanly, then it would it about hit the wall. And when I saw the two, I'm like, wait, they had to replay it. I'm looking, I'm like, because I was same boat with you. I'm like, well, I'm like, where's the force?
Where's the force at?
Yes, and as soon as it hit off the wall, I said, oh, and
Oh, okay. Right, right,
what you
right.
going didn't see it get hit off the
Hmm.
wall.
Hmm.
It got him, and I said,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yo.
I never
Eight,
see. I said eight six
so
two. I said what?
for people that's not really on it like that, 8-6-2 double play is the center fielder who's at 8 on the scorecard when if you're scoring the
Mm-hmm.
game. Throws the ball to 6, who is the shortstop,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Who was covering second?
Who then fires the ball to 2, who is the catcher.
Pitcher.
So it's
Yep.
8-6-2.
Six
That's why
two.
you hear that a lot, 8-6-2 in that
Yeah.
particular
I was
circumstance. But
like,
yeah,
I said,
crazy.
yo, I said, I never, again, like you, I said, I never seen anything like that. And if you were like, oh, yeah, it's going to be an 8-6-2 double play, you'd be like, what? That's not going to happen.
Right, right. And that
Well,
makes no sense. Like,
well,
I mean,
it
again, if you
happened.
just have to catch somebody
Slipping.
totally slipping, sleeping, whatever you want to call it, they just have to be dead and stinking. Like eight
Oh, he
six
was
two,
sleeping.
right? But things happen. You know what I mean? In this
Yeah.
weird game of baseball. What's your thoughts in regards to both LCSs right now, Browski?
Well, right now, like I said at the beginning of the playoffs, that the Dodgers do nothing but get better as the longer they are in the playoffs, and it's being proven right in front of us. As we just talked about the 8-6-2 double play to end that game. Um, Blake Snell, I just have to take my hats off for this guy. He's pitching lights out. What he did to us, I was like, all right. I'm like, this is it was a great pitching duel between Blake and Luzardo. We just couldn't get any help with our bats. But then for him to follow up that performance with that performance, oh, I said, this guy is on a whole nother level right now. He's really in his playoffs bag. And this is the team that we expected to see all season long, dominating, pitching, defense, hitting in the right spots. And Freddie Freeman coming through with that home run. It was just like this was the Dodgers team that we expect. The Brewers had a number all season, but
Shout
now,
out to Charlie. Peace.
hell yeah, it's going on. But now it's like I don't know. The Dodgers are really in a groove. Now it
Hmm.
depends who's pitching today
Yam,
for the Brewers.
I think I don't know who's pitching for the Brewers. Yamamoto's pitching for the Dodgers.
I think it's the guy I think it's their ace. And if it's their ace, it's going to be a good game because this guy,
Oh, the
uh,
Wichachowski dude.
um, what's his name? Wichachowski? No. Freddie
Oh, Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta. Right. Freddie
Pavetta.
Peralta.
Yeah, yeah. This guy doesn't lose. He doesn't lose at home. He's this game too. Yamamoto and Freddie, I think it's gonna be a good one. I think it's gonna be a really good pitching duel. They have for the Brewers to win, they gotta get to Yamamoto early. You can't wait. You gotta get to him early. But I got a dog in this fight. I just defending champs are doing what the defending champs do, and and the same with you in the ALCS. The bets got real cold. All that ice cold champagne and Budweiser they was spraying. It must have hit on their backs and seeped into the wood because their backs are ice cold.
That's drunk.
Vlad ain't hitting. Sandella not hitting. Perez, nobody's hitting. And Seattle, Kyle Raleigh is out there just teeing off.
Mm.
Doing what he did. During the regular season. This may be Seattle year to go back. To go to the World Series. This may be their year. And it's crazy that it took the catcher, one guy. They brought in one guy. He changed the whole franchise. They thought it was going to be Rodriguez, but it was Kyle Raleigh. One guy changed Seattle's franchise, and now they're on the verge of going to the World Series. They 2-0. It's wow. They put up like 13 runs, 14 runs in 2 games.
They beat the brakes off of
Toronto. They did.
Jays.
A lot of people was looking at Toronto as being the favorite of going to the World Series this postseason. Well, maybe they were just the favorites of beating the Yankees. Because it seemed like they could only do.
I'm gonna use a word that I see floating around a lot today. Fake news. That's what that was.
There you go. There you go. So,
right. That's what that was. We're gonna flip the script a little bit. Broski's in the building. Left-handed is in the house. I'm gonna do my get down on it right now.
Go right ahead.
This is what I'm getting down on. I'm getting down on the fake Paul versus Rank Davis fight, if you want to call it a fight. First of all, how are you going to try to fool the public again? You did this thing with Mike Tyson when Jake Paul was fighting Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson was beasting. He was running through his sparring partners. He was doing this. He was doing the most from coast to coast. He was sweating hard. He was pounding on his sparring partners. He was had people thinking that he was going to go in here and walk the dog on this dude. And he went in the fight, and he was fighting like Louis the Lilac. I'm going to say it again. He went into the sparring and the training and the setup for the fight. Oh, I'm going to do this, and he's going to be paying. And we know who Mike Tyson is. We knew what Mike Tyson can do. And what did we say? He go into this fight, yo, it's a wrap for this dude. And what was this? What? Then it's like, well, you paid me. No, nobody wants to be a party to that. Again, I don't. I'm not interested. And for you, Rank Davis, to go from sugar to sugar honey iced tea in an instant moment, yeah, it's true, B. From sugar to sugar honey iced tea. Taking this proverbial, I got to get the bag and this and that. No, B. This is your last hurrah. It's starting to be a little bit more transparent now, right? The Lamont Roach fight took a lot of steam out of your train. It was on the ascent. You was the media. It wasn't even about the fight. What did they say about Tank Davis, Rank Davis? His joints was events.
Yeah.
You had to be seen. You saved your money for the entire year to go to Baltimore, to go to Atlanta, to go to Vegas, to see this dude fight. And you stood on that. The hood stood on that. This dude was that dude. He was knocking people out. Leo Santa Cruz, this one and that one, Ryan Garcia, bung, 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 this and that, the third.
You ran into Lamont Roach, and Lamont Roach made you look regular.
Real regular.
Regular schmegular. And all the time on the outside, well, you know, the trainers and this and that and the third, and he wants to go be with his new wife and this and that and the third, but nah, he's supposed to be loyal to you and all. No, man, knock it off. It's about everything except for the fights. And what, you gonna tell me there's no other legitimate opponents out there in your weight class? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I got 2 eyes right here. I got 2 more right here. I got 1 in the middle. Right? That's telling me, to paraphrase the homies, MOBBDEEP, their album is fire. Infinite Mob Deep. They salute to Havoc. Rest in peace, Prodigy. They did their thing. Shook. Scared to look. You looking at them dudes breathing fire down your neck, Tank Davis, Javante, and it ain't the same no more. What you talking about ain't hitting the same no more. And from a personal perspective, I don't know you like that, my guy. But the respect that I had for you once upon a time is out the window. The same is going to land in the same spot where I had the respect I had for Mike Tyson. But I said that about Mike Tyson a long time ago. He's our generation's Joe Louis. I said that a long time ago. But off of that, this is like, for me, a WWE event. You might as well have Vince McMahon and whoever else talk about this. Because that's what it is. It's a circus match.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that Javante Davis was about circus matches. I thought he was about fulfilling the legacy. Thought you wanted to be like Floyd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And this is just how I feel. I got to get down on it, B. I got to. Right? Because it's only right. Somebody got to say it. Somebody got to say it. This is a farce. It's margarine. It's a Diet Coke of fights.
Not Diet Coke.
Yeah, this is the Diet Coke of fights. This is I mean, what? How you gonna? And you know what the crazy part about this, Bowski?
What?
Is it's gonna be sold out in the arena. What is it, in Miami now? They switched it from Atlanta to Miami or whatever.
Yeah, it's supposed to be in Miami now. Yeah.
Right. You can't even lock down a venue. So you gonna tell me, Tank Davis, this dude who paid Mike Tyson to lose, is gonna let you beat him up?
Yeah. Huh?
I've been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking about it. And what put the battery in my back is how people, and I hate to talk about this, but we talked about it at the top of the show, how people were like, oh, it's fake news that, that D'Angelo passed. And like, you getting it from, reliable people. The people that I talk to don't put fake shit in the air. Pardon my French. They don't.
Yeah.
So again, we're from another, I guess, planet where we kind of like do the research and we do what we call do the knowledge before we put anything out in the air. And all these people was like, it's fake news. Oh, here's the part that killed me, Yada. Until TMZ reports it.
Oh yeah, it's not real.
You know what I mean? Like what? Oh, like what? But oh well. You know what I mean? This is the society that we live in. Everybody got, they got a jaundiced eye and everything. You know what I mean? But it's cool. But I just wanted to get down on that before we get into our situation. We got the situation that we're going to talk about, Browski and myself. And we already know what it is. It's a whole new scenario that's getting ready to pop off. Browski brought it up. She touched on it earlier. Yeah. The NBA is going to be all over the place. You think the NFL is wilding on Christmas.
Yo.
They're going to be on every night of the week. But you know what? You got to find them.
Exactly.
Not that it's going to be hard, right?
Mm-mm.
NBC, ESPN,
Peacock.
Peacock, right? TNT, right? The TNT.
Nah, I don't think they're on
No,
TNT
okay,
anymore.
no, not on TNT. So it's
Nah,
NBC,
no, NBC,
ABC.
is it? Who knows?
We got our networks mixed up, but just know that the NBA is gonna be all over the place. You know what I mean? And we in the building, and we're gonna talk about what we think and what we like. And this is the beginning of basketball talk, right? Because we got
Yeah.
the college basketball to get into, we got the women's college basketball to get into. So rock out with us, Bowski. What's your thoughts? What's happening for the 2025-26 NBA season in your view?
I think this year it's going to be, and it's hard for me to say it from being a Philadelphia Sixers fan, being from Philadelphia. It's going to be a heavy Knicks season. I feel like it's going to be Knicks is going to be the topic of every conversation this year. Um, it's going to, one, we're going to talk about, the new coach, the difference, the team look, difference of the offensive side, the pieces that they bring in, you know, the quote unquote them being the quote unquote favorites, one of the favorites to win the, NBA title. Um, I think it's going to be heavy Houston Rockets talk. Kevin Durant down there, being that veteran presence in a team of young
Didn't Van
guys.
Fleet get hurt?
Say it again.
Didn't
Yes,
Van Fleet?
yes, he did. I think he's out for the season. I think
Mm.
it's like something significant like that. But it's something early on where they can, you know, um, bring someone in.
Hmm.
Um, we're gonna be a lot of talks about Chris Paul. Retirement tour. Chris Paul going back to the Clippers. Another hot topic team. Talking about the Clippers, and not in a positive light. This Kawhi Leonard situation. You
Right.
know, um, what what is the league going to do? What is the punishment going to be? For something like this because it's very egregious and he tried to cheat the system, try to keep some money in his pocket, and then we got to look at Kawhi. All these years, we looked at Kawhi being he's a stand up guy, but then you really starting to listen about him, his character in these different organizations. All that stuff in San Antonio. Oh, he don't trust the doctors. The doctors this, the medical team that. Now he got to get out of there. So he leaves and he go to Toronto. You win a chip there, but then it's the same thing. Oh, I don't trust the doctors here. I need to get out of here. And now he in LA where he wanted to be. He wanted to be with the Clippers. Now you always hurt. You always injured. Low management. You play X amount of games, but you getting this huge paycheck.
Absolutely.
Like you're basically stealing money. So now I'm looking at him like, well, this guy is kind of a piece of shit. When
Uh oh.
we gotta go there when we talk about.
Send your emails to Browski.
But
Yeah,
I
I mean, yeah,
mean,
you're right. We got to go there. Let's
when
go
you
there.
when you look at the
Absolutely. Absolutely.
situation, it's like you're knowingly taking money from this fake organization where you done none of the work. So where's this money coming from? Why are they paying you 20 million or whatever the number is, an outrageous amount of money for you to do nothing? You're trying to cheat the
Mm.
system. So that's going to be a hot topic, and I need the NBA to really come down on this team because this is not the first time this team has been in hot water. It's always something with the Clippers, and now and then we have to look at the situation in Dallas. You got AD, you got Cooper Flag. When is Kyrie coming back? You
Hmm.
know how that team is going to look, and then of course you got the Lakers. Luca, new body, lost a lot of weight. Look like he's really motivated, ready for this season. LeBron on his way out the building. He making fake decisions. Trying
Right.
to play up that decision when he left the Cavs to go to Miami. Now he's promoting liquor. He's so busy on
He all
promoting.
over the place, right?
Yeah, he's promoting other stuff, but you telling me to start the season, you're not going to be ready for the season, but you too busy doing promo shoots and doing all this other stuff. So that's showing me that, well, you already got your foot out the door. So just walk through the door, go to the other side, start your second career. It's okay. You gave the league everything. And then, we look at Memphis. Excuse me, not Memphis. We look at New Orleans. We look at the Pelicans. Zion Williamson. He lost all the weight. Everything that we have criticized this guy for for years since coming into the league, he has now lost the weight. So there should be no excuse for this guy
Right.
to
Let's
succeed.
go, Browski.
Okay, he lost the weight. He's supposed to be 100% focused on basketball because he got a lot of nonsense going on in his personal
Right.
life that he
Yep.
needs to be focused on basketball. So we'll see what he's going to look
Right.
like.
Let's go, Yada.
There's so many different storylines happening in the NBA. And then we look at my team. Look at the Sixers. The same questions that we've been asking for the past couple of years. Again, Joel. Oh, he lost weight. He's practicing without the knee brace. I don't care about none of that. When you telling me that you don't know when he's coming back, there's no timetable for his return on the court. What are you saying to me? Oh, Paul George. Oh, he looks great. He looks in shape. This is the healthiest he looked in a while. You're saying a lot of words to me that means nothing until I
Uh-oh.
see them on the court. That's the thing. And then we have Tyrese Maxey coming back from injury. He actually looks pretty good. But then we have our rookie from last season, Jared McCain, once again hurt his thumb. Had to get some surgery. He's not even playing the whole preseason. Hopefully he'll be ready for the regular season. And then we have our rookie from this year, VJ, which looks good. But you can look good all you want when your stars, who's making the big bucks, are sitting on the bench watching you put up 25, 30 points and losing by 40. Okay?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
But it's the truth. So when we look at this year, we don't know who's going to be the champion. It, I don't see, what's going to happen in OKC. Will they be able to run it back? Who knows? You guys still got Denver out there with Joker and Jamal Murray. Then you got the situation going on in San Antonio. So I think this season is going to be extremely wide open. And the team that we don't have to worry about being in the championship this year is the Boston Celtics because Jason Tatum is out for the year and Drew Holiday is gone and Porzingis
Kristaps
is
Porzingis is
gone.
gone. Yep.
So Al Horford is gone.
Gone. Right. Let's go, Browski.
So that team looks totally different. Like the East, it's the Knicks. We put a question mark by the Bucks. We gotta put another question mark by the Pacers because they are missing Halliburton.
Burton. Right. Let's go, Kim.
We don't know what the match is gonna look like. You know, we don't.
Atlanta.
Atlanta, we don't know what Atlanta. We don't know what Detroit. Detroit had a great season last year. Can
Right.
they build
Right.
off that momentum and take it further?
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. But all that we do know, and what everybody and their mom is talking about, all on these ESPNs and FS1 and all of these other sports podcasts, is the Knicks is supposed to be the number one team. Knicks is supposed to be the team to beat, and we'll see how far the Knicks can go with all that pressure and expectation, with a new coach, with new teammates on there, trying to get the chemistry together. We will see. I'm going to be intrigued. Hopefully, this season can bring me back, fully. But once again, we got the nonsense with the in-season tournament, which once again ruins the schedule. But I'm not going to sit here and cry about it because, like I said before, I don't know what my team is going to look like. We don't know if Joel going to be out there game 1, game 2, week 3, month 1. month 3, 6 months,
All-Star break.
All-Star break, Christmas break,
Right.
next season,
NBA Cup.
traded. We don't know. So we are
Right,
up
right,
in
right.
limbo. Only thing we can do is just sit back and just watch and see
Super
how
Bowl.
yeah,
I
see
don't
how
know
the
when he
story
coming back.
plays out.
Right,
But
right.
go ahead and talk about your Knicks. Tell me how you feel about
Listen,
this
Brasky,
season.
I listen. I feel like at this point in the game right now, um, I'm kind of like tuned the prognosticators and the high price analysts out, and I go by what I see. And being a Knicks fan for as long as I've been a Knicks fan, right? Not getting into none of that. I go off of last year, right? Last year was supposed to be the year once again. When I said Tom Thibodeau was not going to be the Knicks coach when and if the Knicks get right, we got as far as we could go, right?
Mm-hmm.
With this dude, his rotations. I'm not blaming it all on him though, because there's a lot of games, a lot of little sloppy plays that could have been, done a lot more differently. Um, Cats coming through, cats not coming through when they need to, right? Everybody's putting the emphasis on happy go lucky. Oh, this is the next year and this and that. I'm not saying that. First of all, we have to get through the East, right? And we said at the end of last year, Browski, well, I said it, that
Mm-hmm.
this season coming up, 25-26, should be a cakewalk for the Knicks. No Jason Tatum. You don't
Yeah.
know what you're going to have in Philly. No Tyrese Halliburton. You don't know what you're getting in Orlando. You don't know what you're getting in Atlanta. Milwaukee don't know what the hell's going on, but they
Don't
might be a
know.
sleeper though, because Antetokounmpo and Miles Turner,
I
I'm just saying.
mean, I mean, Anthony Cooper, they got all his brothers over there, so
Yeah, yeah, they got all his
you know,
brothers up there. You know what I mean? But I mean, when it comes to the East, everybody's like the Knicks. It's 82 games in the season. Why, if everybody's so into the Knicks as being a championship contender, why are people really not really sure if the Knicks can win 50 games?
mm-hmm.
So I come at it from a common sense perspective, and yeah, sometimes it gets a little crazy for some people because they want to hear the same stuff that they already heard on TV, and I'm not here for that, right? How could you be a Knicks fan and hate on them? I'm not hating on them. I'm telling the truth. So if you consider that hate, go over there and listen to those weirdos that tell you all the time about how great the Knicks are and how great they're going to be and this and that and the third. No.
Yeah.
Figure out what you're going to do with Mitchell Robinson. Mike Brown, and let me cook for a second, Kimmy.
Go right ahead.
Mike Brown is going to put, what's the word I'm looking for, Browski? Accountability back in the
Yes.
mix. Tom Thibodeau had a rotation that he depended on, that he counted on, that he went to regardless, good, bad, or indifferent. He played his same guys. And as you know, the rotation gets shorter in the playoffs. So Mike Brown, what I like about him and what he brings to the situation, two-time NBA Coach of the Year. He's got championships in Golden State. I mean, this guy brings accountability, responsibility, and he's going to play who's hot, right? So hopefully that, Jalen Brunson, could, another year of experience. Carl Anthony Towns seems to be enjoying the bright lights of New York. OG Anunoby and those guys and Bridges and the rest of those guys can make some really things happen. But the pressure is on you. I'm going to say that one more time. The pressure is on you, New York Knicks. So when you don't hear a cat like myself say, yo, yeah, the Knicks are gonna win 60 games and they're gonna run through the East and they're gonna do this and do that, do the third, just because the Celtics are at a low point, just because the Bucks aren't sure or the Sixers aren't sure, whatever the case. No, 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 no. We won 54 games with Mike Woodson. That's what we had with Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire. So, again, at the end of the day, Mike Brown is going to bring a certain winning aura and winning atmosphere. Not that we don't have that, but fundamentally wise. Hopefully, I'm wanting to see the Knicks play a lot smarter basketball. You know, things are going to happen. Things are definitely going to happen, and it comes with the game. But I'm tired of seeing the Knicks be up by 25 and lose by 8. I'm tired of seeing the Knicks be down by 35, be up by 2, 0.7 seconds left. Somebody hits a shot and the Knicks lose by 1. I'm tired of that. Think. Situational basketball. Is there such a thing as that? Situational. What do you do in certain situations? Do guys study who, what is your offhand? Do guys study do they study that? Do they cut off your left side if you know to go to the left side? Do they cut off your right? What do they do? Do guys talk on defense? Like, again, Browski, it might sound to somebody who doesn't know, and I'm not and I won't say it like that, or is not accustomed to it, but that's the school I come from. You can't get out there if you can't move your feet. You're useless. How you the point guard? You looking down at when you dribbling the basketball. You don't trust your dribble? So that's the certain things that, I look for, and I think Mike Brown is going to bring that, like, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. And the main thing that I hope that, cats like, the fans and all of that hope that the Knicks can bring some excitement and take advantage of the situation. Because it's not every year when you have the teams that you're competing with, are just like behind the 8 ball, and you got all the advantages. Everybody's healthy. You got a brand new coach. The atmosphere is the same, and youngsters, I hope y'all learned your lesson from the last 2 or 3 years. Don't jump out the window.
Yeah,
Don't go out there at 34th Street and go bananas because you won game 1 in the playoffs.
Well, the
right?
pressure is all on the Knicks this year, to me.
Yeah, absolutely. The pressure's on the Knicks.
It's all on the Knicks.
Go ahead, Yada. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the way that you look at it, the way I see it, and how everyone's putting it out there, the pressure is all on the Knicks to make the finals, not just make
Yep.
the playoffs, to win,
Yep.
to get to the
Yep.
finals. And it's a toss up on who will be there with them. So, like, when you look at the NBA, they little bracket, they already pencil in the Knicks in the NBA finals, and on the other side it's whoever. It's a crapshoot, whoever's gonna come out the West gonna come out the West, but they got the Knicks coming out the East, and all the pressure is on the Knicks to make them right, and we see how the Knicks work under pressure, we see what happens. But this year, when I look at the rest of the league, it's like I said, the West, it's like every man for himself. I see what the Warriors is doing. The Warriors are getting older. The Warriors are getting old. The Warriors are turning into a retirement team. You just signed Al Horford to multiple
Al
years.
Horford, right.
I'm like, Al Horford got 1.5 feet out the door. He should have been gone now. You got your championship. You should be out of here. They signed this guy. You got Steph. Then you got Steph's brother. Then you got Steph and Steph. So
They re-signed Kuminga, right?
they re-signed Kuminga. You still got Draymond. You still got Buddy. But I don't know. I don't know about this team. And then, we got the Lakers. We don't know when LeBron's coming back. We, Luca look like he's going to be the one to carry the team. Um, I'm not sure what. Oh well, here we go. Just like I said with the with the Brewers, you gotta get on Yamamoto early, and they already start out with a solo home run by Jackson. Jackson the solo straight out the
Cheerios.
first. Yep, first inning, first at bat, one swing, 1-0 Brewers. But it's just I don't know with this season. I'm just not convinced this year. Like how each year you go in and you're like, yeah, this team and that
Hmm.
team
Hmm.
finals. So right now I'm just like, oh, it's the Knicks and I don't know. You know, will it be OKC again? I don't know. They didn't pay all these young guys all this money, and this season they could turn out, to have a championship hangover. All the partying, to going through the championship motions. Who knows what's going to happen out there?
Right. Right.
But
We'll,
yeah,
we'll
I'm
walk
just
out there. They got a championship, but we ain't seen him yet.
no for real,
Word up.
for
um,
real.
yeah, absolutely. When you talk about the West, man, I mean, again, Browski is another thing that I always say. You might have 6 or 7 teams, that are strong, but it's only going to be one team in the finals. You know what I mean? Right now, you look at a team like everybody talked about the Houston Rockets. You know what I mean? They Kevin Durant. All here we go again with this until Fred Van Vliet towards ACL. I mean, again, who are they going to get to fill that gap? Because people are projecting the Houston Rockets to win a lot of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, the Kawhi Leonard thing is, he's projected to play a lot of games this season, but that's going to be a cloud over him. Every move he makes is going to be scrutinized. You know what I mean? You got the Denver Nuggets. You mentioned them. Is Jokic going to be motivated? You know what I'm saying? Again, they got Cam Johnson, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Valanciunas.
yes.
They're gonna do their thing. So again, you can't sleep on them. Then you got the Golden State Warriors. You know what I mean? Again, the addition of Al Horford, which is really going to take them from a 9 to a 9.3 on the AARP scale. But it is what it is. They're still projected to win a lot of games. You know what I mean?
I
Golden
mean,
State's going to be Golden State. Go ahead,
yeah,
Browski.
yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, when you still got Curry, Jimmy Butler,
Hmm.
but again, these guys are old, and these guys are bound to get hurt sometime during the season. And
Right.
who's going to score when Curry's out, when Butler's out? Those are the same problems that they had prior years. Years prior before. So it's
Hmm.
you name all these teams, and like we said, up and down, throughout the whole season. At the end of the day, we don't know who will be number one. You know, especially in the West, we don't know. I have no clue. It's like spaghetti. You could throw it at the wall and see what team sticks, and like, oh, okay, well, it's Houston,
Absolutely crazy.
or oh, it's Denver, or it's OKC. Um, it could be who knows. It could be Minnesota. We
Mm.
Timberwolves can get out their own way this year. Who knows? Or
Right.
there be the Mavericks may emerge, and everybody saying this guy Cooper Flag is the real deal. They have extreme confidence in them. They just signed Jason Kidd to an extension out in Dallas. So he's going to be there for like 4 more years. So who
Hmm.
who knows what's going to happen? Who do you see not making the playoffs? Like when you look at it, like
Um, in the East or the West?
both.
Okay. The East, I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls.
Mm.
I feel like the Bulls are got some ground to make up. All right, I'm not looking forward to them having any kind of really spectacular season or making any noise again. Because like I said, I think Milwaukee might be the team that people sleeping on. But again, not making the playoffs. I'm going to say the Chicago Bulls. In the West, I'm going to say the Lakers won't make the playoffs, and the Spurs will.
Ooh, look at that. Lakers
Yes, jumping
won't.
out the window. For what floor am I jumping out the window, Obrowski?
Oh,
What floor am I jumping out the window? And Charlie and
you
Norton,
damn near
y'all
at
the
the top.
witnesses.
You
Huh?
damn near
On
at
the
the
top?
top.
Browski said on the top, my G. The rooftop. Yeah, I feel like, if I'm going to make a bold prediction, I'm going to say that Victor Wembanyama, who's going to be back healthy, playing with you know some guys that's going to help him do his thing. I think San Antonio's going to be much improved. I think they definitely have the talent right now to be a play-in team, right? But I think that the Los Angeles Lakers, and I'll make another bold prediction. I'll say this: I'll jump out the window even more. LeBron won't be on the Lakers by the end of the season.
Wow. Okay. Send the emails to this guy. That guy today is taking
LeBron
all the emails.
LeBron will not be on the Lakers at the end of the season, and the San Antonio Spurs will make the playoffs.
Hmm. Here's a follow up to that.
Okay.
Will he be on the East or the West?
Who's LeBron?
Yes.
LeBron will be back on the East, and here we go. Here we go. I'll narrow it down even some more.
Yes. Please do.
It's going to be either the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Miami Heat.
Mm. 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 Mm.
I'm not putting it up in the air and saying what he might do and this and that and the third. That's my bold prediction. LeBron James will not finish the season on the Lakers. He'll finish it back in the East, either on the Miami Heat or the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the San Antonio Spurs are going to make the playoffs.
Okay.
So
I can
now, you know
see.
what's up now, right, Browski? Now we need a couple of bold predictions from Yada Bear.
Man, that I don't know if I can top that. But so on the West, I'll say that the Pelicans will make the playoffs.
Okay.
And I'll say that the Golden State Warriors won't.
Okay.
I'll
I
say that.
mean, that sounds reasonable on, October the 14th.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Um, I also will say that I feel like the Phoenix Suns will be one of the worst teams in the league this year.
Mm.
I feel like they take a dramatic tumble and they'll be fighting with the Utah Jazz and the Portland Trail Blazers as top three of
Does Devin Booker get traded?
yes. I think Devin gets
Finally, right?
traded. I think he finally get traded. I think he will make some noise, and I think Devin Booker will get traded to the Boston Celtics. And I hate the Celtics, but I think they'll get traded to the Boston
You hear
Celtics.
that? You hear that? You hear that, cousin T? Yada Bear showing your team some love. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say in on the East, I'll say the Pacers don't make the playoffs,
Hmm. Hmm.
but I will say that I'll say the Sixers do. I said the Sixers will make the playoffs, not the play in, the playoffs.
Okay, all right, that's a bold
And I
prediction.
say the Pacers won't make the playoffs at all.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
that's how we get it over there. We don't cut no corners. We don't be hooing and hawing and humming around the bush and all of that nonsense. We're gonna tell you what it is. We in the building. Yeah. So again, why do you think that the New Orleans Pelicans are gonna be a strong playoff contender in the West? I mean, or making the playoffs in the West?
Yeah, I think Zion's more focused. I think he refocused. You have him, Ingram, CJ. I feel like they get it together. I feel like the missing piece was Zion. Um, him not being in shape, him not really focused on basketball. I feel like he has refocused his attention to basketball, and I think we'll see a different, very disciplined Zion Williamson this year.
Yep. Teoscar Hernandez home run.
Yep, home run.
Game
That was a
two of the
moonshot.
NLCS. Yeah.
That
That
was a
thing
moonshot.
bounced off the
Yeah,
that
it
thing
took
bounced
forever to
off the
land.
something. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it took forever to land.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I think that, and I also think that uh, um, John Morant gets traded too during the season.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now here's the uh, $55 million question. Actually, two of them. Who is the NBA MVP and who wins the championship?
Mm. Can I give you two answers?
Yes.
I think the MVP is going to go down between, and you know, I have no love for this at all, but I think it goes between Jalen Brunson and Luca. And I think,
Interesting.
man, and it's crazy because I don't know who's going to win the championship this year. I have no clue. Um, if I'll just, you know, take a shot, I think it's going to be, I think it'll be West. I think it's going to be Team in the West. I want to say, I'll put it out there, Denver, the Nuggets. I put it out there. I
I
put the
thought you was gonna
Nuggets
say
out there.
Oklahoma City.
Nah, I don't see them repeating. I don't see OKC repeating. I see maybe Nuggets Knicks, and that's going to be a weird series, depending on how the Knicks look offensively under Mike Brown. But I can see the Nuggets. I can see either Luca or Jalen Brunson winning the MVP.
I'm gonna say for MVP, and again we're gonna stay in the West. Anthony Edwards,
Okay.
forgotten man. I think Anthony Edwards is going to make some noise, but Minnesota is going to be Minnesota. But I think his coming of age and coming out, so to speak, is going to be during the NBA playoffs. I think Anthony Edwards is going to have a very big NBA playoffs. So, my NBA Finals is, of course, the New York Knicks out of the East. And in the West, I'm going to say, I'm just going to give you a Western Conference Final. Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Golden State Warriors.
Oh my God, you almost throw up saying the Golden State Warriors?
Yes,
That's
the
funny.
veteran leadership,
Okay.
the veteran moxie, that championship moxie that this team has. I think is going to have one last stance. Yada Bear, I don't know how technical and scientific this is right now, but I think the Golden State Warriors have a 100 game run in them.
Okay.
82 games at the start of the season,
Yeah.
and those other 18 games happen
Yeah.
however the playoffs fall. I think they gotta to make a. Steve Kerr is telling these guys, "We got one last stand. This is gonna be it."
I mean,
Go
I
ahead.
can see it. I mean, even though I picked them to not be in the playoffs, I mean, I can
Hmm.
see it. I think it really depends on health wise
Yes,
and
absolutely, you gotta absolutely.
what they do at the trade deadline because they're gonna
Hmm.
have to make a trade.
Hmm.
And I think the odd
That's true.
man out of that situation could be Buddy Hill because to me, he's the only one that kind of has some type of value because they're not
Value
going
that
to
could bring
trade
something. Right. Let's
him
go,
in.
Yada.
Like they
Yup.
just they just paid him some money,
Hmm.
so I think the odd man out will be Buddy, probably packaged with Seth. The brother going to have to go. Probably something like that.
That you bring that up, Buddy Hill, and like so, I have like the Dodgers is opening up that can on him.
Hmm.
I have like scenarios run through my head. Um, you know what I could see for the Golden State Warriors just jumping out the window, and knowing that the contracts have to match in the NBA and this and that and the third. I get it. Andrew Nemhard
Mm,
is a dude that a team like Golden State could use.
absolutely.
And again, as we get more into the season, we're going to talk more and stuff and things of that nature. That's why I try talking to Yada Bear because she's on point. Right now, when we talk about it, we're just talking right now. You know what I mean? Giving our thoughts because the season is still what a week away, the 21st.
Yeah. Yeah, we can win.
So next
Right on the
Tuesday
corner.
night,
We were talking about NBA.
it's gonna be crazy. You know what I mean? We're gonna have competition
Every day.
every
A
day.
game every I feel like
So
NBA turning to baseball every day, a game every day.
every day of the week, every single day. So we're gonna be here to talk about it and all of that. You want to get into a little college basketball, a little women's college basketball, a little bit?
I mean, we can always talk about that.
All right.
We could talk about that their top 25 because they put out their preseason rankings. Um, what UConn at one? They put UConn at one, South Carolina at two. That South Carolina at two though might be a little iffy since Chloe Kitts is out for ACL already at
Oh,
the
okay.
beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
UCLA at number three, Texas at four, LSU at five,
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma at six, Duke seven, Tennessee eight, NC State at nine, and Maryland at 10. So that's just the top 10 right there. Um, UCLA at three, LSU at five. I feel like you may be able to flip it, especially with the addition that LSU had made. Malaysia Fawali going there, that changes everything.
Yeah, that just
Having
changed it
her,
all, right? Mm-hmm.
that changes like that changed a lot. Um, we know that South Carolina, also reloaded. Team again gonna look a lot differently. Gonna be more outside shooting. They got better shooters on the outside, but I feel like the athleticism, um, and the talent the LSU had put together, having Flajay still there, paired with Malaysia, Fluwali, that's a crazy duo. I mean, UConn at number one, the defending national champion, um, with Ozzy Flood still there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's nothing to sleep on. Um, See, when I look at the list and I'm looking at it and I see Notre Dame at number 15, we haven't seen Notre Dame that far down on the
In a
list
minute.
in a lot of years. A lot, with was it Olivia Miles,
Mm-hmm.
TCU now, TCU at 17. Um, Iowa at 21, Louisville at 20. I mean,
Wow.
and then we can tell the effect of Juju not playing. You got USC at 18. You know, so we know that they only 18 because Juju's out for the season. Still
Right.
recovering from the ACL. This season, again, it should be exciting. I feel like each year, women's college basketball gets more and more exciting. The talent gets better and better and better, and I'm just excited to see what this LSU team's going to look like. Also, what this Texas team look like. You have the girl, what's her name, Madison, the small forward that kind of got the game like Kevin Durant.
Hmm.
Another year with her there. Texas was a tough team last year too. Um, UCLA, uh, Kiki Rice in UCLA. It's going to be good. Tennessee, Duke, Oklahoma. We gotta see what these ladies are gonna fall in. Michigan at number 13. That's kind of high for Michigan, especially for women's. Michigan women's. Um, a team that we have seen up in the top 25 that we don't see this year. Ohio State. Ohio State has um, you know, been a staple in the top 25. I don't see them on there. Um, Baylor, number 16.
Hmm.
A team that we have on there that is kind of surprising to see him on the list already. Richmond at 24. Richmond is getting some love at number
Hmm.
24. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm not going to jump out the window and say, oh, LSU going to host the trophy this year, or South Carolina, or maybe a repeat with UConn, because as we've seen throughout these last couple of seasons, that the number one seed always changes week after week. Nobody's going to go undefeated. It's just telling me that this is going to be a very exciting tournament, and these conference tournaments are going to be even better. I think the
Hmm.
conference tournament is going to be just as good, or maybe even better than the NCAA tournament, because these teams here, and a lot of them that's evenly matched. You got a lot of dogs here. Um, Big Ten look good. As the SEC always looks good, and the ACC looks pretty good. So we're going to see. How you feel about this top 25 that came out already?
Um, I feel like they really put a lot of thought into it, or not, by saying UConn number one, and South Carolina number two. There's a lot of other teams out there that's going to be because again the transfer portal affects women's game as well. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And NIL affects the women's game as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of, like Browski said, a lot of fluctuation in the top 10, 15, 20, whatever you want to, however you want to slice it. I think that with Juju Watkins being out, it takes a little bit of the that we've been
It
looking
does.
forward to out of the season. You know what I mean? Even with and like Browski said, yeah, it's reflected in how they see USC. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Again, there's no pressure on them. Let them do what they do. And again, let the other, teams, deal with what they have to deal with, the expectations, the LSU's, the South Carolinas, the Tennessees, you know what I mean? The teams that everybody expects to be in that mix. But again, this, are we going to talk about this season? And remember, somebody on this panel was saying,
Yeah, man. The women's game is going to be more exciting than the men's game. I feel like the men's game made its noise, but the women's game you got to put a lot of respect on it, and we're looking forward to a great season. A lot of surprises, some people to come out that we don't expect. Who's going to be the injury? Who's going to be the team in trouble? Who's going to be on the bubble when it comes bubble season? So again, the women's game is a lot. Those conference tournaments, like Browski said, that might be more vicious than the actual tournament because they're all scratching to get to be one of those 64, 68 teams to get in. So and again, there are more than 3 or 4 or 5 teams in spread throughout the country in these tournament in these conferences that you can either have your pick for 1 through 5 can win the conference. You know what I mean? Just because you finish great in the regular season, the team that barely makes the conference tournament can win the conference tournament and get into the tournament,
Yeah.
right? So things happen. So it's that time of the year. We're looking forward to it, and you already know what it is as far as that's concerned. Because we rock heavy on the basketball tip over here. Now it's Browski's favorite part of the show when she gets to expound on topics that she's with or a topic that she's not with. And we like to call it Get Down on It. And what is Browski getting down on today?
Um, I'm getting down on Mark Sanchez,
Uh-oh.
aka Butt Fumble, which that nickname is not going to carry well where he's projected to go. um, it is not just focused on Mark; it's more focused on the masses. What once we heard what happened initially, everybody's like, "Oh, prayers for Mark." We stand with Mark. And then a great thing, that was invented, which is called surveillance video, comes out. And you
Let's go,
see
Browski.
this guy stumbling
Let's
down
go, Browski.
an
Bumbling,
alleyway
bumbling, bumbling.
towards a truck that's parked, and the guy, out there doing his job. You know, where Mark should have been in his hotel room preparing
Right.
for his
To do
job.
his job, right.
For Sunday, he should be watching film, taking notes, preparing for his job.
Right.
But no, he's out, have 4 too many,
Let's go,
stumbling,
Kim. Right.
and getting this crazy altercation with this older gentleman who's just out here doing his job.
Right.
He had to go to extreme measures where he had to almost take your life to save his own life.
His own. Mm-hmm. Let's get it, Browski.
Spraying you with mace, you're still pummeling him, beating him up, until he had to take out his shank and poke you up. So these are terms that Mark needs to familiarize himself with,
Poke you
because
up, son.
in the near future he will be in a situation where he could get shanked again amongst men who are actually his peers now, because you fall right in that category by your thuggish action.
Let's go, Browski.
Okay. And why I want to focus more on like the media, because like people were so quick to disregard the situation and just say, oh well, I can't believe this happened to Mark. Mark is not this type of guy. He
Right.
wouldn't hurt a fly. You don't know this guy.
Right.
You know Mark on the NFL Network. You know Mark in front of the camera. You know Mark when he's talking about football.
Right.
But you don't know Mark that been at the bar for 3 hours drinking whiskey or tequila, whatever his poison is. You never know Mark to be a belligerent, drunk, and a super aggressive guy. And last week when we spoke about, I jokingly said, maybe he should look at his defense stating that he may have early set on CTE.
Right. I remember you saying that.
But seriously, I think that he needs to be looked at in that way because for a guy to just click something click in his mind for him to be that violent towards a guy who did nothing to him, to eat the mace, to still get stabbed and still was able to stab him too, which is crazy to me. I feel like it is the responsibility also falls on the NFL to make sure that these retired players have proper medical care and not only physical medical but also mental. And I feel like that's something that they like to say, oh, we think mental health is important, but I don't think they really take the steps to show that yeah, mental health is very important.
They just talk that like they talk Mark Sanchez was a good guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like some of the responsibility falls on the Shield to make sure that these guys are in counseling. Have some type of. I feel like they should have like some type of exit interview when leaving the sport, like kind of
The
like how
sport,
like
right, right,
cops
right.
or like the military do to make sure that your mind is in a good place
Mm-hmm.
for you to go on to your second life
Right.
outside of this company. But it's the story is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I I just can't wait to see this outcome and how the courts are going to proceed this. If they're going to look at this guy as a celebrity or they're going to look at him as a regular Joe Smo that did something terrible. But
I'm gonna say
that's what I'm
this.
getting down on. I'm getting down
I'm,
on that situation. Mark Sanchez, like I said, that butt fumble nickname is not it's not going to help you a lot. It's not going to help at all. You may want to change that.
talk about this Shawshank Redemption. Um, Listen.
The wire.
Again, absolutely. Like again, we talk about this all the time on the show, man. It's like what happens when the light goes on is way different than what happens when the light goes off. These guys come across as, hey, I'm super approachable. I'm this guy. I'm so friendly. And hey, look at me. I'm on your TV every day and I'm talking sports and I'm this big, uh, 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 not bodacious, but I'm this big personality that, you meet me. I'm the type of guy you can have a burger and a beer with. Nah, they don't want to be
Yeah.
anywhere around you. They don't want you
Nah.
anywhere around them,
Nah. Nah.
right?
Not at all.
If you ever was at Yankee Stadium before a game, they go to press into the stadium at, they all got security. But if you see them in front of the camera, it's like these big brolic dudes need with security. Off the camera, they're superstars
Mm-hmm.
because that's what on the camera projects them as.
That's
So that's
right.
what we, the public, have to accept them as superstars, and they're beyond reproach and this and that and the third. But off the camera, behind the scenes, they worse than you and me.
Yeah.
They get a drink in them, and I tell you what happened when I ran across Warren Sapp.
Yeah.
Like these dudes is totally different. So again, a situation like Mark Sanchez, these dudes jump out the window and be the first one to break their neck and say, "Oh, he's such a good dude," and I can't believe it happened to Mark Sanchez. But then you hear Mark Sanchez is beating the daylights out of this guy.
Yeah.
If he's so what you perceive him to be, where'd this come from? So if he had a drinking problem, why is the NFL selling Budweiser?
Exactly.
So again, like it all comes back when you got cats like myself and Yada Bear. We see beyond the nonsense. Now, Mark Sanchez, if you got CTE and this and that and the third, like Bosky said, you better make your next move your best move.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just a long, the latest in a litany of scrupulous events that are athletes. I'm not going to say NFL, just NFL. It's all over the map. baseball, basketball, hockey
Yeah.
ball, soccer ball, whatever you want, whatever sport. It's like real life. There's no gray area, yo. There's no in between, right? So again, Mark Sanchez, it just was your, how my man said, it's shine time.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
those years you was at USC and you was developing yourself into a quarterback and you were playing with Reggie Bush and you was winning titles and Pete Carroll was your coach and all of this has led you to where you are right now. Sitting in a jail in Indianapolis. In Indianapolis! You lucky your name ain't Mike Tyson.
For real.
So let's get into it. We got 5 minutes left. Athlete, where's the? Am I missing the parallel, Browski? Am I hitting the parallel here a little bit? The only the difference, the crime wasn't as, and I'm gonna say Mike Tyson didn't do that. We'll leave it alone. That wasn't as heinous as you getting into a fist fight with somebody. But my guy, you wasn't there to cause no trouble and to be
No.
seen. You was there on an assignment,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
You was there basically on assignment to cover a football game. Nobody says you can't enjoy yourself. I mean, I've been to Indianapolis. I mean, it's all right. You know what I mean? But it ain't Philly. It ain't New York. Definitely ain't New York. It definitely ain't Philly. But for what it is, for you to get caught up in a situation like that,
It's wild.
come on, yo.
Wow.
And now you got nobody to blame or speak to, but you got bread. Your lawyers, I hope they can talk. They better be able to tell the Indiana judges something.
Something.
You know what I mean? But
Something,
go ahead, Browski.
I was gonna say something else that I had wanted to get down on in this.
Let's go.
Um, so Clarissa Shields did an interview.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't really agree with a lot of things that she said, and she said
I know
something
where
that
you're
was,
going. Go ahead.
that was pretty, controversial. We're talking about boxing, women boxing in particular. Well, she said two things that was controversial, but let's focus on this segment here. They asked about the match, the potential match she put out there, the challenge to Layla Ali, and how the money was there, but Layla didn't want to do it. I'm like, well, Layla's old, she's past that, but she said something that was extremely interesting, and it made me think about it for a moment. And she said that Ann Wolf would have kicked Layla's butt.
You would have.
And when I sat back and I thought about it, and I said, damn, Ann Wolf was a monster.
Yeah. Why do you think Layla Ali get out the game?
And
Yeah.
I said, I have to agree with
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields.
Yep. Yep.
I said, Layla was the face. This is what they wanted female boxers. Pretty. Just like
Let's go,
just
got it.
like Clarissa said. She's pretty. She's Muhammad Ali's daughter.
Right. She got the she got the connection for the
Got the connection. But and also, she can fight. I'm not gonna put
Right.
it
Right.
past
She
her.
can fight.
But when we look at Ann Wolf,
I'm gonna let you, we got 2 minutes, Browski. I'm gonna
and
let
this
you
is
do it.
why I was laughing, because when you talk about a woman like Ann Wolf,
Right.
she's destroying people.
Yes.
And I think as soon as Layla put eyes on that, she said, "Oh, I can't go."
Yep.
She said, "I can't.
So,
Oh, I'm not going to fight that.
I'm gonna get married and get pregnant.
I'm
We
not
not
going
doing
to fight
this.
that. You see this here? I can make
Right.
more money with this
Right.
than this.
Right.
And
Daddy, I
gotta
love you and
go.
all that, but yeah, man, listen.
I gotta
Right.
go." So I have to agree with Clarissa with that.
Mhm.
I said, yeah. I said, to me, Ann Wolf is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, female boxer that we have seen to this day.
No doubt.
And that's
Listen,
all I
man.
have to say.
Listen, that's how we give it up over here, man. You know what I mean? Browski's in the building, sending emails to Yada Bear, right? Shout out to the homies that checked in. You know what I mean? Norman, Charlie, we salute you, man. Most High, I'll
Yeah.
get at you, man. Um, we here next Tuesday. We'll be here. We'll have a little competition on the air with us, but we'll still be here to talk about it and chop it up. I
Yes.
am left-handed at RMDesk on Twitter, which is this right there. Over there is Yada Bear, aka High Ceilings, aka Wilbert Montgomery, is Saquon Barkley in the house. You already know
Oh
how we
wow.
do. Don't go nowhere, Browski. We out, y'all. We'll talk to y'all next week. We got like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,